Hello, everyone. It's Emily from Fort Worth Moms, and I am super thrilled to be hosting a bit of a discussion today via video with our friends at Tarrant Area Food Bank. I am visiting today with the president and CEO, Julie Butner. Hello, how are you?
I am great. How are you, Emily?
I am doing really well. Tarrant Area Food Bank is our special nonprofit here at Fort Worth Moms for the year of 2024. And something we are wanting to emphasize in our local community is the supports that you offer for families who may need food assistance, but in all sorts of ways. And also just shining kind of the spotlight on the good work that you are doing in our community in all the ways that our readers and followers can benefit and support what you're doing. So I'm kind of geeking out a little bit. I'm really excited that you're here. I have followed and supported y'all for a long time, so it's fun to have a chat.
Yeah, this is exciting for us too. You know, our moms in the community do so much in terms of volunteering and getting their kiddos and local schools involved in our efforts. So I'm pretty excited to be here too. So thanks for having me, Emily.
Okay, so let's just start fairly basically with you giving a really good kind of overview as how does Tarrant Area Food Bank actually serve and support families who live right here in our county?
Well, we are the largest nonprofit distributor of food for people who are in need of food assistance in the 13 counties that we serve. And we have a fairly large network of partner agencies. And that's anything from your local church, other nonprofits like Boys and Girls Club, a Women's Health Center, local schools, so K through 12, junior college, community college, university setting, and also our healthcare partners, which is a new endeavor for the food bank in the last 3 years, where we are providing support at clinics and at hospitals. So we really operate through this network of partners, and we are providing food to families, women, children, men, most of whom are gainfully employed, some retirees who are on fixed income, but that's how we're supporting the Tarrant County and surrounding area with food assistance.
Awesome. So I know that you have created a bit of a presentation and some information for us to work through. Would you like for me to go ahead and share that now and for us to walk through that a bit? Is that
Yeah,
perfect? Okay.
yeah.
All right. I'm going to add that up to the stage. Here we go. Okay. So you can take it away. The first slide is up about your vision and your mission.
Perfect. Okay. Well, at Tarrant Area Food Bank, we have a vision that our communities will have access to the food that they need and a mission to empower the community to alleviate hunger and improve health. I mentioned that we're in 13 counties. Excuse me. We have a satellite facility that's located in Weatherford, Texas, just to the west of us. And that satellite facility, Tarrant Area Food Bank West, covers the 7 counties that you see there in turquoise. So Palo Pinto, Parker, Hood, Erath, Somerville, Hamilton, and Bosque. And then we have a satellite facility at Denton Serve in Denton County, and that area, Tarrant Area Food Bank North, supports 3 counties, Denton, Wise, and Cook. And then in the red, you'll see where our main campus is located right here in Fort Worth, Texas, in Tarrant County, where we started the food bank some 42 years ago. And of course, it started in Tarrant County because that's where the population density was at that time and continues to be to this day. But that's how we're broken out. That 13 counties, we have about 2.9 million people in those 13 counties. And believe it or not, 500,000 community members of the 2.9 who go to bed at night not sure whether or not they're going to have enough food to feed their family for the week or even the next day. Tarrant Area Food Bank is part of national and regional organizations. There's a national organization called Feeding America, and I just recently was elected to their board of directors. So I'm super excited to be a part of the Feeding America board of directors, both for personal growth and development and for the visibility that it will bring to the Tarrant Area Food Bank. But Feeding America acts as an industry association. There are 200 food banks that are part of Feeding America. We pay a fee to be a part of Feeding America. And the benefit that it brings to us as a food bank is it accesses government commodities and subsidies. So these are surplus food items that come from our ranchers and farmers and growers that they're not able to sell for whatever reason. And the federal government redirects those food items through the Farm Bill to the 200 food banks that are part of Feeding America. So about half of all the food that we receive here at Tarrant Area Food Bank comes from this relationship with Feeding America and the federal government. We're also part of a statewide collaboration called Feeding Texas, and it acts as a lobbying arm and promotes advocacy work and also bands the 21 food banks in the state of Texas together for statewide grants that we have greater opportunity to receive as a group versus as independent food banks. And they're down in Austin, Texas. And then we are part of an inspection agency, the AIB International, which comes in every year for a couple of days to inspect how we're handling food and whether or not it meets food safety standards that our federal government requires. But you can see a lot of folks in the community, and I'm sure a lot of moms think, oh, I'm going to clean out my cupboard and I'm going to bring some canned foods down to the food bank. And that's really not the best way to support the food bank because we receive so much food from the federal government. And then the other half of the food really comes from this very, very rich food industry that we have in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So everything from broadline distributors to retailers that bring us food. Because we're trying to feed 500,000 people. It's just really unbelievable, staggering, really, the numbers that we support. But I think for your audience, something that would be of particular interest is our number one community member who seeks our services is somebody that we call Alice. And she is a woman, she is a mom. She's typically not married, and she has a couple of kiddos at home. And the acronym ALICE stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, but Employed. So asset limited, she doesn't have any assets. She does not own her home, and she does not own her car. She's income constrained, but employed. So she is working, and oftentimes the moms that come through seeking assistance are not just working one job, but they're working two jobs. So they're income constrained, and that's why they're having to work the multiple jobs. You know, in this area, Tarrant County, we have seen drastic increases in rent. We've seen double-digit increases in the cost of food, and that's across the country. And then right here in Fort Worth, we have a childcare issue where women who are trying to work can't afford the cost of childcare. And so they're really in a crisis, kind of in a stuck point. They're making decisions about, do I pay my rent? Do I pay my electrical bills? Or do I ensure that my kids have 3 meals a day, 7 days a week? So I think that would resonate with the moms who are out there that are not faced with these kinds of constraints, to understand that the number one person who's standing in line to get food from the food bank is a woman. She is a mother and she is working, but she's just not making enough money to sustain herself and her family. I'm going to show this video next. Tarrant Area Food Bank food doesn't just appear on a plate. It goes on a journey before it reaches the table. Donors fill our trucks full of high-quality food, and it arrives at our distribution center in quantities far too big for most of our partner agency organizations to accommodate. We rely on volunteers to help us sort and repackage food into more manageable portions. Then we take it to our partner agencies across 13 counties in North Texas. Where people have access to the food they need when they need it. Sometimes all that people need to get through a hard time is someone who cares. So we talked about the number of folks in the family and the families that, in the community that are food insecure, and it's close to 500,000, as I mentioned. And this just illustrates the nationwide issue, what's happening in the state of Texas, and specifically what's happening for Tarrant Area Food Bank. We are today providing 1 million nutritious meals a week into the community, and it's just not nearly enough. That amounts to about 3 meals per person in need per day. So, per week, excuse me. So if you think about, we need 3 meals per day to sustain ourselves. What we're able to provide as a food bank is 3 meals a week. And so you can see that it's just not nearly enough to help the people who are struggling with food insecurity. But we do that distribution through a variety of partners. That's through home meal delivery programs. We have in-school markets. If your moms wanted to get together and try to do a fund drive, we have a campaign right now where we're trying to get 100 in-school markets installed by the end of the calendar year. And we have 73. So we have another 30 or so to go before the end of December. We have healthcare, food, pharmacy programs, and medically tailored meals for our community members who are faced with chronic disease and cannot afford the very, very important nutritious food that they need in their diet for health and well-being. And then we also have community gardens where we're teaching folks how to grow their own food and use the food in their gardens to sustain themselves. You saw the video, so you got a good glimpse of how food banking works. It's a big warehouse. We have 80,000 square feet at our main campus and 30,000 square feet at our Tarrant Area Food Bank West. We receive food, half of which comes from the federal government. The other half comes from the very generous donations that we receive from manufacturers, distributors, farms, grocery stores, retailers. All of that comes into our food bank 6 days a week. We sort, we inventory, and then we have to break it into smaller quantities that our partner agencies order in smaller quantities from our grocery list, which is an online software system. And then they deliver directly to the people who are hungry in our community. That's it in a nutshell. Can I answer any questions, Emily?
Yes, I do have some questions. Thank you for the information. That was really helpful. The numbers that you mentioned, are significant numbers for sure. Have y'all noticed that those numbers year over year are kind of increasing, or do you feel like that is, kind of what your steady stream usually is?
It has really increased. And one of the reasons for the increased numbers that we're seeing, there was the pandemic when we saw really elevated numbers. And then
Right,
post pandemic, the numbers really didn't go down. And the primary cause for that was the cost of inflation. So food cost was going
right.
up,
Oh,
rent
yeah.
prices were going up, childcare prices were going up. And as people were returning to work, those elevated costs created another kind of gap. And then something that's really, really unique to our community, if you're paying attention to the local news, we are the fifth fastest growing metropolitan area in the country. We're
Right.
outpacing San Antonio, we're outpacing Austin. And so we have a lot of people who are moving here. That's why we have the housing shortage and why rent prices are going up in our community. It's why we have a childcare shortage and prices are going up in our community. So those things have really exasperated the situation here locally. And we have not seen numbers go down. We're really seeing kind of a new level of food insecurity because of those factors.
Yeah, and that was honestly one of the reasons why Fort Worth Moms decided we wanted to focus on food support this year, because we are all feeling the strain that food is putting on our budgets. Like every family that exists in
Right.
this county right now or in this metroplex, as we're talking about that. Even on our own team, we've kind of been discussing and trying to come to grips with what this summer is going to be like. So if you have school age children and
Mm.
you have those children at home with you, um, your food grocery bill is going to increase because they require so much more food that they, even if they are not eating school lunches, they're still confined to whatever is in the lunchbox. But if you are like my family, my kiddos eat school lunches nearly every day. So whenever kiddos are going to be home this summer, that puts an extra strain on all of the things you mentioned, not only food support but also childcare and
Mhm.
transportation, activities, all of those things kind of combined. So I want to ask two questions. I guess there is a lot of guilt that comes with motherhood. It just is like the moment you become a mother, guilt just comes along to kind of be your best friend sometimes, right? It's a companion that comes. Um, What would you say to a mom who may be watching this that is in that Alice situation or another type of situation?
Yeah.
She feels enormous guilt that she's not able to provide the type of food that she wants to, or that she has to make
Mhm.
a choice between one or the other, or
Mhm.
that she's feeling shame, and you want to give her that encouraging hug or pull or push to consider seeking support for the food aspect for her family. What would you say to her?
Yeah, well, first of all, we try to do a lot of work to destigmatize the situation because if you think about life, life is crisis. I don't know anybody who doesn't go through life with one form or another of crisis. And that's what this is. And so there's no shame in saying, hey, I can't quite make it this week or can't quite make it this month. And that's why you have other community members who are here to support when those crises occur. It is a community. We are not, other than the donated product, we're not, like federally funded. The funding for this organization comes from people like you and me who want to help people who are struggling for whatever reason. And I just don't know anybody who gets through life without some sort of crisis at some point in their life. And there's no shame in that. We have a lot of organizations out there. If anybody finds themselves in this position, you can go to our website. There's a button for find food. You simply type your zip code into the zip code queue, and it will pull up every resource that is in that zip code that is available to any community member, regardless of your circumstance. to help you find food. A lot of times when I talk to moms that are struggling in that way, of course, they put their child in front of themselves, and so they're going to make sure their kiddos are getting fed before they get to eat. And that's not a good situation either. So this is a community resource. The food bank is a community resource. Other community members who support us recognize, as I hope your audience does, that people struggle. It's just part of life. And when you're struggling, there are resources available to help you with that struggle. So I hope that anybody who's listening, that they themselves are struggling, or they know somebody who is, that they take the time and have the courage to go to the website and look for all the support services that are available to them.
Yeah, and you answered my next question of where could we go to find out what support services might be near. And there is the website. We popped it up on the screen. Also just saying that here is an answer to an issue you may be having this month or next month or when the summer comes. Please just embrace this answer. And you have enough other things that you need help trying to fix or do this or do that. If there are services in the community, please take advantage of those. And also, for, other people in our community and who's following us as well, also know that this exists and stay up to date on what's happening with Tarrant Area Food Bank. We saw that it goes, it is in your neighborhood. Hunger is everywhere, but it's all kind of in our region here too, and all the counties that you help support. And I think staying on top of what y'all are doing is a great way for then you to find maybe a part where you can connect with. Like there's an element of it that you can connect with, that resonates with you, and you can lend your support to help your neighbor have the support that they need and the nourishment and all those great things. So I really, really, really appreciate you presenting this information to us today and chatting with us. If y'all want more information, you can see there, you can go to TAFB.org. You can find out info about where to get food services. You can get questions answered. You can also find out about volunteer opportunities. They have a lot of events all year long, fun ways to engage your kiddos to understand about the needs that exist in the community they live in and ways for them to participate even at early ages. So go to the website. It has tons of information, and I appreciate you, Julie, so much. Thank you for taking time out of your afternoon to chat with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And please do think about coming out and volunteering. Over the summer, we have summer camps for kiddos. We do fun work in our community kitchen and all of our community gardens and the volunteer center. You can have birthday parties here. You can bring your friends here. You can bring your church here. So we really encourage over the summer moms to bring the kiddos in to volunteer. It's a great way to expose their kids to the issue, but also give kiddos a sense of community and the need to give back when you can at a very young age. So thank you, Emily. I enjoyed it very much.
All right. Thank you so much. See y'all later.